As far as I know, there isn't another reef tank in a 50 kilometers radius around me, and the nearest fish stores are 2 hours away. I keep in touch with two other local lobbyists. One lives 1.5 hours north and the other lives 1.5 hours south. I may see them once or twice per year. In a way, keeping a reef tank in a remote location is easier than you might expect. You are forced to stock up on critical equipment and consumables, because you won't be able to get anything in case of an emergency. You will most likely end up being better prepared than people that live in a large city, because you're covered 24/7 against some types of emergencies, and not just during normal business hours. So, what have I identified as critical pieces of equipment? The return pump is one of them, and I have an identical spare. I have a generator that I haven't even tested yet, and it's something I should have done a long time ago. There's a battery for the return pump and another for one of the circulation pumps. This tank has now two identical circulation pumps, and if one of them fails, the other will be enough to keep the tank going for a long time. The tank itself is a critical equipment, and I have 3 extra tanks that are able to hold all the water and animals in case of an emergency. I have also 2 extra heaters and a spare CO2 tank for the calcium reactor. There are 3 fixtures over the tank, and if one of them fails, the other 2 will be enough to light the tank until I get a replacement. I stock up on frozen fish food, mostly mysis and all kinds of supplements such as kalkwasser, balling salts, media for the calcium reactor, and trace elements. I tend to buy large quantities, and this allows me to save some money too. I recently visited a fish store, and the fact that the fish were kept at normal salinity and without copper caught me off guard. I was really tempted to bring a few fish and inverts home, because I figured the risk of bringing a disease home was lower than usual. The lower salinity and copper masks diseases, and in this store that wasn't happening, and I watched the fish closely looking for any sign of disease, and they all looked fine. I somehow managed to leave the store with just a frag of the same coral I had ordered a few weeks before and had arrived dead, because it's a rather finicky acro and it was too hot. We want more and more and more, and living away from fish stores helps me in resisting the temptation of getting more animals and risking the lives of my fish. Sure, I could continue to quarantine, but it's far from a perfect solution. Medicated quarantines often kill fish, and non-medicated ones offer no warranty that the fish is disease-free. I once read a book where an old lady would always walk the streets holding a tiny flower, a forget-me-not, in front of her nose, so she wouldn't notice the degrading world around her. This reef tank is my forget-me-not to some extent, and I don't want to cause it any unnecessary damage.